Hi, this is Mrs. Robertson, and today we're going to wrap up the packet part of our project in your My Travel Journal. So we're going to get your packet out. Make sure again you have your first name, your last name, and for this class, you're going to put period 3. And if you have time, you're going to add a little color to your packet. Here we have Chase's that he has done for us. So as you open up the packet, we've already done the part where you choose your destination and you choose some hotels. You go through that part. You should have at least 3 hotels, maybe up to 6. Then the next page, planning the trip. You need to have at least 2 of the 3 dots completed for each section. And here this person does. They have at least 2 of the 3, and in some sections they have all 3 dots with something. So you should have that accomplished. Let's go to the next page. So then on the next page, you color the states, or you can just draw a line from Indianapolis, which is in the middle of Indiana, to where you're going on your trip. You can have an idea of the states that you're going to go visit. Make sure this is done. Maybe you want to add another state because you decide you want to go someplace else. You wanted to go to Huntsville, Alabama to go see the space camp for kids. That's sort of cool. So you might have gone in Georgia and then out into Alabama and then up into Tennessee that way. All right. Then the next page, we did this yesterday. You are trying to get close to $100. This person did pretty good. They got $90.50. And yes, you need to have this complete. All right, you should have this one done. Your total should be close to 100. It can't go over 100. Any questions on how to do this page? Then, why don't you just put a little check mark at the bottom of each page that you have completed? So that way I know that whenever I grade it, you thought your page was done. Then yesterday, this person was absent yesterday. You had to pack your suitcase. Let me see if any of these kids here were here yesterday. Here's one. You had to choose 11 things to put in your suitcase. All right? It's a small suitcase. You can only take 11 things. So you had to do that. And the directions say that there is a limited space for you to pack your suitcase. You will be away from home for 1 week, which is 7 days. List your 11 items below and explain why you chose each item. Kids, you only need to explain why you chose 3 of your items. You still need to have more than 3 items, but where it says explain why you chose, you don't have to tell me why you chose to bring shorts to Florida. I mean, if you want to, because it's warm and I wanted to wear shorts. But on 3 of your items, explain why you brought them. Only on 3. I'm not going to make you explain every one of them. Here, they wanted you to explain every one. Just explain why you packed 3 of these items. Any questions on what you're to do on that page? Okay, then we did this page on Monday. If you don't know how to do this page, go to Monday's Google Classroom. There's a little video that tells you how to fill this out. You can just zoom on over to that. Okay? Then, what's left? This is what we're going to do today. Time and money on the road. All right, so let's everyone go to this page here. Time and money on the road. I'm going to help you fill this out so you know what it is you need to do. Now, it says it is blank miles from, on this trip, I'm going to say I'm going from Indianapolis to Orlando. Now, kids, all of you have a Chromebook. All you have to do is go in your Chromebook. I'm going to use my cell phone because it's easier to put that underneath here. And you type miles from Indy to Orlando. Okay, so Mrs. Robertson types in miles from Indy to Orlando. I spelled it wrong, but it'll still be right. Okay, on this it says 971 miles. It also gives it to me in kilometers. So I'm going to write down 971 miles. Wasn't that easy? Just type in where you're going and it'll tell you. All right. So 971 miles. Earlier it said 972 on the one I did before this one. Okay, everyone got that? Do you all have your trip? How far it is to go on your trip? You should type it into your Chromebook. Now we're going to go to part 2. We're going to pretend your car gets an average of 20 miles per gallon. Okay? How many gallons of gas will you need to reach your destination? Well, all you're going to do is divide. How many miles? Write down how many miles divided by 20. Now, you might not have 971 miles because you're not going to Orlando. You might have something different. So whatever you got for your total miles up here, put it there. Then use a calculator. 971 divided by 20 is going to be approximately 48.6 gallons. That's how much gasoline I'm going to need. Gallons of gas. Okay? Does everyone have their gallons of gas? Does anyone need more time? All right. Now let's go to the next one. The current cost of gasoline. What did you put down for how much you think gasoline costs now? Anybody see a gas station when they went to school today? What did you put down?
For my destination?
Yeah, what did you put?
I put $6 per gallon.
Okay, you're probably going to California?
Yeah.
All right. Probably not every place you stop. Like when you start in Indiana, it won't be $6. It's about $3.40. But if you're going to California, when you get to California, you will be paying $6. Okay? I'm going to use between here and Florida, it's about the same. I'm going to use $3.40. Now, current cost of gasoline, I'm going to say is $3.40. What's the estimated cost of the trip to Orlando? From Indianapolis to Orlando, I'm going to take my, how many gallons do I need? 48.6 times however much you think gas is going to be a gallon. And then I put the answer there. So here I go. 48.6 times $3.40. It's going to cost me $165.24 to go to Orlando. Okay, does everyone have that? Do you have how much it's going to cost to go to your spot? Now, if the return trip uses the same amount of fuel, what is the total cost of the gasoline for the entire trip? Okay, so to go to Orlando, it's $165.24. And then to come home, it's $165.24. Well, when I add those two together, I'm going to get $330.48. That's the gas to and from. Okay, now we're going to talk about in a little bit how much you're going to travel once you get there. Are you just going to get there and never get back in the car? If you go to Disney World, you might not get back in your car again because they have buses that take you everywhere. But if you go to the beach, you'll probably want to go to the grocery store, maybe a restaurant. We'll talk about that on our expense sheet. Is everyone ready for number 6? Are you ready for number 6? in problem number 6, it says, if you average a speed of 60 miles per hour while driving, how many hours of driving time will it take you to reach your destination? Okay, to go from Indy to Orlando, it's 971 miles. And I'm going 60 miles per hour, so I'm going to divide it by 60. It can go 60 miles in an hour, so how many hours will it take? Well, 971 divided by 60. It's going to take about 16.2 hours. Okay? Now, when I looked at my phone earlier, it'll tell you about how many hours it'll take. Look, 14 hours, 47 minutes, which is about 15 hours. So on my device, it said 15 hours. Why do you think my device is going to say 15 hours, but if I'm going here, it says 16.2? You're going to be traveling by interstate. What's the speed limit on most interstates? Most of the do people all drive 60 miles per hour on the interstate? They usually are going 75 or 80, aren't they? 70 faster. So that's what makes it get there an hour faster, is because you're not going 60 miles per hour. A lot of times they're going faster. Yeah.
Mine got to like 0 hours.
All right. Well, there might have been a mistake. Sometimes I have tech disasters, technical issues, and you might have a little technical issue. So you have to try it again, because you know that can't be. All right. Are we ready for number 7?
Yeah.
Okay. If you average the same speed of 60 miles per hour, how many hours of driving time will the entire trip take? Okay, to and back. So going to and coming back, it's going to be 16.2 plus 16.2. So I'm going to add them together. You can use a calculator. It's going to be 32 hours, 0.4, or about 32 and a half hours. Okay, 32 and a half hours. That does not include the time that you're there during the week and you're doing your fun activities, okay? That's just to and from. Are we ready for number 8? Okay. Your family packs a cooler with snacks and drinks for the trip, but stops for 2 meals on the way. If there are 4 people in your family and each person spends $6.50 on each meal, what is the total cost of the meals on the way to the destination? Well, 4 people, $6.50 a meal. Each person gets 2 meals. So you're going to have 4 people times 2. That means you're going to have 8 meals, okay? How much did they average for each meal to cost? So then you're going to show $6.50 times 8. Multiply that, and that's going to give you your answer. Everyone's going to have the same answer for number 8, because you're going to use those numbers. So for number 8, everyone, I'm not going to tell you the answer to this. You have to do that yourself. That way I know you're doing these problems. Number 9, your car passes through 5 toll booths. That means you're on a toll road and you have to pay to be on that road. Each booth collects $2.45 in tolls. How much money is spent on tolls? And they do have a lot of toll booths in Florida.
Yeah.
So, what do I do to figure out how much they spent on the tolls? What do we do here, Harry? Okay, so what am I going to do number-wise? Do I add, subtract, multiply, or divide? Right, you're going to take it times 5. And again, I'm not going to put that answer down. You are going to do that. Show what you are doing, multiply it by 5, and put your answer there. Are there any questions? All right, let's go to number 10. At one rest stop, you decide to buy a bottle of pop for $1.25 from a vending machine. What are two different combinations of coins you could use to buy the soda for that exact amount? Okay, you need to come up with two ways to get $1.25, and you can't use dollars. You can only use coins. Well, one way, and then you have to do another way. One way is 5 quarters. 5 quarters equals $1.25. Now you have to do the second one. Give me another way that you can get $1.25 with coins. And you have to do that, and I will be looking for that. And then we have the packet done.